Welcome back to my channel. Today we're checking out some Xenoverse 2. Gonna be continuing on with the DLC PQs, the ones I haven't played yet. I think we're like halfway through or something like that. There's actually quite a lot in this pack. Some are just for artwork, but a lot of them are for the new moves, and a lot of the new moves I actually really want. And I will be collecting them all anyways. Plus, I've seen all the clear conditions now, and they're all simple stuff like clear in a certain amount of minutes. And so far, I haven't had any problems with AI like dying and then failing the quest. It seems like the AI just stay alive at 1 health, at least for most of them. So it seems to have taken into account a lot of like the super cringe shit you had to deal with when you're doing parallel quests, like keeping your AIs above a certain amount of health or all that kind of stupid stuff. It's really nice to see them just like simplify them and just give us new gameplay with new characters and new like dialogue and whatnot. And also seems like they were given a slightly bit more freedom with the dialogue. Like some of it's actually been pretty good, and like even like the story missions were all really good, and I like what they were doing, and like some of the ideas that they went for, I was pretty happy with because they were kind of like what ifs, or like the one that included Broly was basically just you playing through the first Broly movie as the main character instead of Goku. So you got to like fight him, and then at the end like do the like absorb everyone's ki, and then do like the punch to like explode Broly. So it was all really cool, and I think now that I believe the server should be fixed now. We got an update, and I haven't had any problems since then. But who knows with Xenoverse? But so far, it is nice that it's actually playable again, because I think the DLC itself was really good. It's just the servers got really fucked up in the middle of it. The biggest thing I'm worried about is when they start implementing the new currency, considering that you have to like buy like the super TP medals or whatever the hell they're called. Because once they start adding like cosmetics and stuff that are only for sale in this game, I'm gonna be super, or only for sale in that way, I'm gonna be super disappointed. One of my favorite things that I love about Xenoverse is that you can earn everything in the game by just playing it. Yes, you do technically have to have online to earn everything, and there's DLC. But I would much rather personally pay for DLC with new content than be locked out of content that is just cosmetic. And because cosmetics don't technically matter, but when like half of the game's rewards and unlocks are locked behind a paywall instead of just being able to unlock, it's so disappointing. Because like I remember playing so many games like in like PS2 and early 360 era where like you would find like secrets throughout the game, and then it would unlock you like alternate outfits and so many cool things like that that are almost just non-existent in a lot of games. And like I'm pretty sure when like Sparking Zero comes out, I imagine they'll probably just give you like every character just unlocked from the start, or I would imagine anyways, but they might not. I would prefer if you actually had to like play through the game, unlock characters, and there was like secret conditions to unlock characters. Because I like that about Xenoverse too, that like you had to like figure out where to unlock certain characters, how to get them, and like there was like the secret character with the Supreme Kai of Time, and just like all that kind of stuff. I really liked finding it and like earning it through the Dragon Balls for more characters and stuff like that. I would much rather prefer than just locking it behind a paywall, because then it just makes me less excited to play that game if it does have that sort of cosmetics or season pass. I also really hate. I honestly just am not a fan of the live service approach. I like it in the sense of like Minecraft, where you're doing like an indie game and your team is slowly rolling out more updates and more updates and more updates and stuff like that. But for just like multiplayer games, I would much rather just like the old Call of Duties and stuff. Even like I think it was like Black Ops 3 that started like a bunch of cosmetics for like swords and like alternate weapon skins and so much like that. And it ruins so much of my enjoyment of that series that like it just tainted it so bad. I kind of ran out, or not into shooters at all anymore really, so I kind of fell out of it anyways. But that was really brutal. So I am worried the direction of Xenoverse, and I don't hope it doesn't go to like how Jump Force was, where like all the cool stuff got locked behind cosmetics. But I am somewhat hopeful in Xenoverse first. Like, shit as like a lot of the not even mechanics, but like just unbalanced and like broken online is at times. Like, it's a very easy game to cheese, which I find is a good thing and a bad time at the same time. Because I like the like custom creator and like being able to make your own movesets and stuff. I just wish you could play online in a mode that like only had the cast characters and no custom characters, because it kind of really takes you out of the Dragon Ball experience. And I personally, when I make movesets, I like make it to fit the character and the aesthetic of my character that I make. You'll notice my Super Saiyan God build is like all red moves, and it's like melee slash close combat focused compared to a lot of my other builds. And I kind of just like building in that aesthetic because it likes you can build fairly unique characters, even though like a lot of the outfits and stuff are taken from other characters. There is ways in this custom creator to make really cool outfits with a lot of different parts. And I find when the combat is working good, it is so fun. And like the peak of all of the Dragon Ball games I've personally played so far is Xenoverse 2 when it's working really good. Because to me it feels like Xenoverse, it feels very free in the way the combat works. Because like I like fighting games and I like 2D fighting games, but I don't like how like intricate a lot of the combos and stuff is, as simple as that makes me sound. I just find it super unnecessary, and I would rather be able to just like have access to all the moves like you do in Xenoverse, and be able to like technically plan everything out without needing to put 15 inputs out to get one move out. And you can kind of focus on like your movement, your neutral game, and like your super attacks and like all that type of things. And like I really like in Xenoverse like the stamina management like mechanic and like the guard break system. I really like how that works, and like the type of mind games that you can play with your opponent and stuff like that. I just don't like when there's like a ridiculous amount of inputs and skill required to get to that point. I would rather be able to just have like a pretty easy starting point that has pretty in-depth combat. Like you can go pretty deep into like making combos still, and like I don't know, I just find Xenoverse combat to be like the best out of pretty much any anime game I've played. Naruto Storm is also really good, but I find it a bit too simple. But yeah, for how much shit this game gets, and for how like laggy and glitchy the online can be at times and everything, I do think it is a really good game. Especially like when I picked it up after it had been updated so much, and like I've seen gameplay from the first game, and it looks like so janky in comparison. And like I think this game is actually pretty well made for an anime game, as someone who's played like pretty much every anime game on the fucking PlayStation 4. That's kind of when I got into anime games, on the PlayStation 4. So like of all the ones I've played, and I've went back and I have played like some of like Tenkaichi and like Budokai and like a couple of those games through emulators and stuff. I haven't had like a real proper experience like with a friend or anything playing it, so I don't fully know how it goes, and I haven't got super in depth. So I'm excited whenever I can get my hands on Sparking Zero. Probably won't be at launch. I'll probably have to wait a while because I don't have a PlayStation 5 yet. But whenever I do get around to it, I'm excited. I am a little worried because as amazing as the game does look, I guess it is not fully released yet, but it does have like a couple janky things and a couple weird things where I also think there's like only one map for local co-op, which is like, I wanted that game like 90% of the reason for offline to play with my one friend that comes over and we play Dragon Ball games together and whatnot, and we both really like Dragon Ball. But it like I think it only has one map, so I hope that gets added on more later, because that was most of the reason I wanted to play. I'm sure it will be hopefully less skill gap between players than in like Fighter Z, because I do like that game and I like playing it offline. But sometimes you like match against people and it's like you can't do anything to save your life against them. Like they pick you up in a combo and they basically TOD you your entire health bar, and then you're just sitting there like, well, I would like to play the game too, please. So I think it'll be a bit better than that, because there is some sort of like evasive type mechanic where you can like get punch out of it while you're getting hit. and you can like deflect key blasts and vanishes and stuff like that. So I think it will be less like you just get touched by a person and you're stuck in the combo and dead type of online. But I still will probably mostly play it offline with my one friend, because that's kind of just how I prefer to play most Dragon Ball games. Even like most of the online I play for PvP is against my one friend. So that's the one thing I'm iffy on for Sparking Zero. Overall, I'm really excited with what they showed. Also disappointed, I don't think GT characters are going to be in it, unless they show up as a DLC. That I'm also disappointed about. But other than that, like, I think it looks pretty awesome, and I think, like, most of the, like, little nitpicks I have with, like, the visuals and a lot of that type of, like, UI and all that I've seen, I think will be fixed by the time it actually comes out, and we see the final version of it. Slash, I imagine you'll probably get some updates, like, I know that, that's how it goes for some games. Also, I haven't really talked about it. This PK was kind of weird. We fought like a bunch of Cybermen, and then Nappa and Vegeta, and then Golden Frieza. Kind of a absurd one for Videl. I wasn't fully paying attention to all the dialogue, though. I was kind of been into talking there. Heal up my health just so I can get a better chance at a Z rank, which should hopefully let us get a higher chance of getting the rewards, which I think works. I know Ultimate Clear Condition increases your rank, and I think Z does, but a lot of stuff like that is usually just in your head, and it doesn't honestly matter. But we did manage to get one. But I think that'll be all for this video, and I will catch you guys all later. Peace!